Hey everybody, it's your girl Jazz, and we are back for another episode of Sisters, and this is Season 7, Episode 16. I forgot what the name of the episode is, so I think is it Who Can I Run To? Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. This review is not going to even be long, y'all, because I need everybody to make it make sense to me. And it's a whole bunch of math that ain't math. The math ain't mathing. Okay, the elevator ain't going all the way up to the top. And I got questions that need answers. Okay, because, good Lord. So, last week the episode ended with Tony's ex barging in, talking about I'm his wife, but she really was just being petty. They really are not together, but they are cool. They are, they're still, clearly they still are really good friends. And they gave each other a hug and stuff, and he's like, oh my God, hey, the way that their demeanor is. And y'all excuse my kids in the background. It's Sunday and we cleaning up today. Church was good and all of that, and we clean up on Sundays over here. Anyway, they were clean. They were all hugged up and stuff. Danny was still standing there like, dude, you do see me standing here, right? And they were hugged up on each other and stuff. His girl, I forget her name, and y'all drop the name in the comments. But the way her demeanor was, she gonna be on some I want my family back type vibes, and Danny can see that. So that's what the energy was. That's what the energy was given, and Danny can see that. So Danny clears her throat like, "Hey, girl, I'm here. What's up, Tony? You gonna introduce me to your ex?" And so they introduced or whatever. And so Danny was like, "Okay, let me go ahead and get out the way, so y'all can get, reacquainted or whatever, right?" And so let me go ahead and get those scenes out the way. It really is not much to review y'all, because it's a few things. It really is a few things that does not make sense to me on this episode, and we're gonna dig a little deeper. We're gonna talk about that, because y'all know me. So that happened, and Danny is uncomfortable. They went out on a date. Later on in the episode, they do go out on a date. Tony and Danny do go out on a date. I'm finding it a little hard to believe that they went from Tony being upset about the fact that he asked Danny to watch his daughter last minute, and then his daughter gets the handcuffs, and then he blows up at Danny. That exchange or whatever, and then. But well, never mind. I guess I could see that, because Danny does say, "Look, I've never had kids. I've never had kids. I never desired to want kids until I got in a relationship with you. So disregard. I see that. I can see how that happens. But anyway, they go out on a date, and Danny was real standoffish, and she lets him know, look, I feel a little bit uncomfortable with how close you and your ex is, and I get the vibe that she's still in love with you, and I think you're still in love with her. He's like, look, you being jealous is cute, and you ain't got to worry about that. Danny is like, nah, that's not what this is. I'm not jealous at all. I'm just letting you know what I discern. And so Tony takes a little trip, and that's how it ends. But of course, Danny is not really into it, because she knows that she's right? And that's pretty much all that happened there. Let's see what else happened in this episode. The The biggest two things that happened in it, I'm telling y'all, this review is not going to be long at all. The biggest thing that happened in this episode is Pam is at Sabrina's house, and they are planning the baby shower. Sabrina has these Dollar Tree supplies and blowing up balloons and stuff. And from the looks of it, the baby shower is happening tomorrow. So it looks like, I'm going to assume in the next episode, the baby shower is gonna happen. So it looks like, yeah, the baby shower gonna happen pretty quick. But anyway, Pam comes over and Maurice comes over. Sabrina calls Danny to come over to help. Danny's like, no, I'm not coming. Karen still act like she's upset with me, so I'm not coming. And Sabrina calls Andy. Of course, Andy is busy with work and her case in the case with Marie, and she doesn't answer the phone. Sabrina is in her feelings about that. She's also in her feelings about the fact that Danny does not come. And there was a lot of controversy on Twitter about that. A lot of people feel like Sabrina had a right to be upset about that. Here's my thoughts on that, and y'all tell me what y'all think about this. Two things I want to say about that. Number one, if you go back to the episode when Karen went over to Danny's house and was like, you need to stay out of my business. Danny goes, well, it's going to be kind of hard to do that because we all in the same sister circle. Karen goes, not for long we're not going to be. And then she called Pam and Sabrina over and asked them to plan her shower. Now, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. That language and that body language to me says she wasn't rocking with Danny and she wasn't rocking with Sabrina. She wasn't rocking with Danny and she wasn't rocking with Andy no more. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments about that. To me, that signaled a split. I'll even take it a step further and say the mocktail event, when she said that when she said to Danny, you and Andy, y'all rocking with Fatima, and her saying that kind of pretty much set the tone that she wasn't really gonna be rocking with them no more like that. Now, yeah, I could be wrong, and if I am wrong, I'll hold my L. Okay, but y'all let me know what y'all think about that in the comments. Okay, but I'm bringing it home to say, when she asked Pam and when she asked Sabrina to plan her baby shower, and when she told them she wanted a drama-free baby shower, that basically signaled she didn't want them at the baby shower. Not to mention, she asked Sabrina to plan it. She didn't ask them to plan it. She didn't ask Andy, and she did not ask Andy, and she did not ask Danny to do anything. If she wanted them to do it, she would have asked them to do it. Now, I maintain the fact that people think that Karen is codependent on the sisters. I've always said that Karen isn't the one that's codependent on the sisters. Karen is codependent. Now, I've always said that Karen has some codependency on Andy, because I've always said that Karen is codependent on Andy. I've always said that Karen and Andy are friends. If I was gonna call somebody friends, quote unquote, I said that Karen and Andy were. But even now, I don't think that they're friends. I think that they're codependent, but I don't think that they're friends. I don't think none of the sisters are friends, if I'm honest. I don't think none of the sisters are friends. I think that Karen and Andy are codependent. But Sabrina is codependent on the sister circle. I think that Sabrina can't do nothing without the sister circle in its totality. And this right here showed it. This, her calling Andy and calling Danny to plan Karen's shower when Karen didn't ask her to do that. That's not what Karen asked her to do. Karen didn't even say that she needed them. Sabrina just wanted them to do it. And then later on, basically feeling like she needed to call and go off on Andy. She felt like she needed talking about telling Maurice, I'm going to tell them all how I feel. I'm going to call and I'm going to go off because I'm going to go off. I'm going to go off. And Maurice kind of edged it on, right? Because she even tried to make Maurice plan it, And Maurice was like, no, I'm not planning nothing because Karen ain't my friend. I don't know this girl. This your friend. And Maurice made an excellent point. Maurice was like, hold on. You supposed to be planning. Now, Maurice made a good point. Maurice said, hold on, baby. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. I got church tonight, too. Anyway, Maurice made a great point. He said, so you planning a baby shower for your friend and your other two friends not here? Now, he did make a point, but Sabrina also should have told him the truth. She also should have told him, yeah, but she didn't ask them. She didn't ask them to plan the shower. She asked me to plan the shower. So Sabrina also didn't tell him the full truth, and she should have. Which also goes back to Danny's point that Danny makes and has made. Sabrina do stuff and then play the victim. And she did it right there too. But anyway, back to that scene. So Pam was there. Pam and Maurice actually had a good moment. They met for the first time. They actually vibed good. They vibed good. Pam showed Maurice her social medias, showed Maurice her business, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't know you was doing it like that." And she actually made a networking connection with him, and she also asked him to be her brand ambassador. And so she was like, well, you all right with me. I like you. I think me and you could be really good friends and stuff. Now, one thing that I realized about Pam that I actually didn't realize before, one reason, and also once Pam left, she was like, look, Maurice, it was really, I gotta go. Sabrina, we're gonna get together. Everything's gonna be fine. Don't stress yourself out. Everything's gonna be fine for Cameron's baby shower. It's not gonna be ghetto or nothing like that. I got you on everything. Maurice, it was nice to meet you. We're going to get together about you being my brand ambassador. I think you cool. You're a real cool person. Let's get together. We're going to hang out and, stuff like that. She left. Now, one thing I noticed about Pam is she herself, no matter where she go, she going to be herself. And I did not realize that until her and Maurice met and clicked. I also noticed that when Maurice spewed that stuff to her like he be spewing to everybody else, she clapped right back at him. And I liked it. And I also noticed that Pam and Maurice hit it off instantly, and Sabrina didn't like that. Sabrina did not like that at all. Go back and watch that scene if you guys get a minute, and y'all let me know if y'all noticed what I noticed. Before I get to the big thing that happened in this episode, Ethan drugged Ethan drugged Jordan, and that's how the episode ended, child. He gonna wake up drunk. He gonna wake up real drunk and not remember what happened. They're gonna turn him. I think they're gonna turn him into a crackhead, child. Jordan about to be a crackhead, just like Gary. And I think that's probably how his and I think that's probably how he not gonna run for mayor no more. Typical. Anyway, let's see what else happened. Miss Marie walked in on Hayden. Miss Marie walked in on Hayden, talking about he gonna have her eating out the palm of his hand, and she had her first arbitration, and they basically snuck the lawyers and stuff basically snuck some information in that she did not know about, and it had her looking incompetent at the first arbitration meeting. So she basically went off on Andy and Hayden and Fatima, essentially, because essentially with Fatima being Andy's assistant, if I was on Fatima too, especially with Andy gunning for the partnership role too. So yeah, and Hayden tried to point fingers at Andy. Andy tried to point fingers at Hayden, and Miss Marie was like, "Look, stop trying to point fingers at each other when it's both of y'all. Y'all both screwed up." And I hired this company. I hired this law firm to take care of my business. And the fact that y'all are, and honestly, Miss Marie was correct. I hired this law firm to take care of my business. And the fact that y'all are the only black people here, the fact that y'all are the only black attorneys here, it speaks volumes. I know that y'all can do this work. I would have gone somewhere else if I thought otherwise. I would have gone somewhere else. I need the 3 black people here to get y'all butts to get y'all. She basically told them, I need the 3 astounding black people here to put y'all egos aside and humble yourselves and get it together. And she really was talking to Hayden, because Hayden put his foot in his mouth every time. So, yeah, that happened. Hayden went to Miss Marie's hotel, and they ended up. He ended up. That happened. Now that I've gotten all of that out of the way, I can talk about the biggest thing that happened on Sisters on BET television on this episode. Andy goes to the FBI officer's room because he says that he has a secret CI on Gary's case. Do y'all want to know who that secret witness to Gary's case is? I'm going to tell you anyway. It was Penelope. Penelope survived. I gave you guys a moment to I'm going to give you guys another moment to take it all in. For those of you who did not watch the episode and just listening to my review, because I do have some people who do that. I have some people who don't watch the show and just listen to my reviews. I have people who have told me that. I have people who have said, Jazz, I don't even watch the show. I just listen to your review. And I appreciate you for that. We all thought that Penelope died when Gary chunked her to that floor. Nope. She did not. She survived. And while I am happy that she is yet alive and yet breathing and still in the land of the living, God is good, ain't he? All the time. And all the time, God is good. I need the writers to make this make sense, because Penelope said to Andy that Gary killed her baby. And I just want to know, writers, if you were listening, how? You're telling me that a woman that was any day now pregnant, because Penelope was a good 9 months pregnant. As a matter of fact, she was over 40 weeks pregnant, because in season 6, she was 7 months pregnant. Let's do some math, shall we? Okay. In season 6, Penelope was 7 months pregnant. So in season 7, if season 7 is 3 months later, what would that make her? That would make her, what, 10 months pregnant? So she's over her due date, right? Okay. All right. She's over her due date. So that means, if she's over her due date, so she barely hanging on, ain't it? So, okay. All right. So that means if Gary pushes her to the floor and tells her he's not calling nobody, he's not calling her body, and she needs to clean up this blood off of the floor, and then leaves her there to tend to it herself, and then and she pushes her own self out the door. How she get to the hospital? I have questions. How did she get to the hospital? Okay, get to the hospital. Do you know how long it takes for a woman to heal after having a baby? Not even just after having a baby, but a stillborn baby, trauma to the womb. Do you have any idea how long it takes for a woman to heal from that? Yet you're telling me that Penelope has been in the federal custody with the FBI for 2 days, chilling in the hotel room with this FBI agent, fully clothed, wearing heels, dressed in all black like the Omen. That's what you're telling me? I need this to make sense. And right now, it does not make sense. It does not make sense, y'all. It does not. And then got the nerve to tell Andy, you can't keep this from Jordan. And Andy, you are a freaking attorney going for partner, and you about to keep the fact that your fiance's sister is not only not missing, but she's alive and in federal custody. Y'all, Wednesday's episode made my locks itch. They made my locks itch. That was the episode. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it in the comments. Oh, and another thing. Karen wanted to know how the date went with Pam and Trey. Karen, you ain't slick. You just want to know if your name came up in conversation. Why do you care if your name came up in conversation? Sweetheart, what you care for? According to you, you're pregnant with 2 babies by 2 men, and all you can offer Trey is friendship. What do you care if your name comes up in conversation with Trey and Pam. You don't like him like that, right? So what you care for? Why do you care? Now, and I want to be clear, she did not ask the words, did y'all talk about me? But we know where this is going. We know why you're asking, what did y'all talk about? You're asking this to subtly see if your name came up in conversation. Because Pam told you that she was going to ask him out. Lo and behold, he accepts the offer, and they did go out. And you shocked about that, and you want to see, oh, well, maybe he just using her to get to me, because she does stuff like that. Karen, you ain't slick, sis. You are not slick. We see in the preview next week that Pam and Trey go out again. But then we also see that Trey and we also see that Trey is, seeing other women or what have you or whatever. And and Pam, I'm sorry, and Karen takes a picture of it, and I'm gonna assume that she sends it to Karen, and I'm gonna assume that she sends it to Pam. Karen, what do you care for? According to you, I am pregnant with 2 kids by 2 dudes. I don't have nothing to offer Trey but friendship anyway. So again, I'm going to ask the question. What do you care? What do you care if Trey is seeing 50 women? And also, I'm even put this out here. You barely like Pam. Pam ain't even your friend. Pam just works for you. So what you care for? Why are you putting, if all you have time for is your kids and getting your shop off the ground, why do you care? What you care for? But yeah, y'all, that was the show. And y'all, please forgive me for not being able to get the trailer breakdowns and stuff up. I got a whole lot going on, and life be lifing, but I do the best I can with what I can do. I am going to get back into doing the trailer breakdowns. Okay? I promise. I really do promise. When I can do and what I can do, I will do. All right? But I love y'all in real life, and I thank y'all so much for sticking with me, and send your friends to the channel who love the show. But anyway, I love y'all. Happy Sunday.